Hi everyone, Jill from Red Tent Australia here. Today I'm sitting with Julie Brett. So some of you may know Julie. She is the author of Australian Druidry, Connecting with the Sacred Landscape, in which she explores how nature-based spiritualities like Druidry can be practiced in an Australian landscape. She encourages the readers to connect with nature, their ancestors and spirit in order to find creativity and joy in life. She's also the founder of the Druids Down Under, and she creates beautiful crystal jewellery for her brand Forest Spirit Jewellery. She also helps run the Katoomba Red Tent in the Blue Mountains. So her gift to you at Boundless Self-Love Retreat is called Connecting with Nature for Creative Empowerment. In this workshop, Julie is going to facilitate an exploration into how our creativity brings us empowerment to make positive change in the world. As warrior women, we fight for a better world through our creativity in actions and art. So using practices from her background in Druidry, Julie will lead an experiential ritual-based workshop to explore the deep benefits of connecting with nature, understanding ourselves through our ancestors and guides, and aligning ourselves to the seasonal changes. This will then lead into an exploration of each one of us, that we can awaken our unique creativity, breaking down fear barriers and finding ways to express ourselves with confidence and joy. It's going to be great.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Can you share with us why you decided to come and present at the Boundless Self-Love Retreat this year?
Yeah, Red Tent's quite new for me, so I only found out about it a couple of years ago. And I started running the Red Tent with Kirsten up in the Blue Mountains because she knew that I'd been doing lots of ritual with Druidry and that I had experience with running groups like that, and she was just getting started out. So, but we realised there was so much common ground in what we were both doing that it worked really well. There was a really nice match there. So I'm still helping, but she's finding her feet with it all, which is awesome. But I'm really still enjoying being able to share with people that come along what Druidry is about, or at least some of the wisdom in Druidry and how that can help add layers to what we do in Red Tent. It's really, there's so much that we share, with the looking at the cycles of nature. We're looking at the cycles of our bodies and that connection with our moon time and our moods through the cycle, but also our connection with the earth and with community, and they're all beautiful things that we share. And in Druidry, those things are really important too. But also like the seasonal changes and the elements and there's all these ritual practices that really blend beautifully with Red Tent practices. So I really enjoy that, and it's going to be really fun to have a workshop to get further into how that common ground can be found. It's going to be really fun.
Fabulous. And it's such a gift. Just hearing your talks making me feel really excited, because I've been living this sort of life for a while now, and to be able to share that with other women and to come together and to do this in the Red Tent at the retreat, it's going to be, well, it's beautiful for me because it seems so natural, to lack of a better word, but for those of the women that are coming along, that this is all very new. It's a beautiful introduction. Something like this at a workshop in a space of the retreat will be a beautiful introduction that then they can learn more. And your book, have you got your book there to show us?
Yeah, I did hold it up when you mentioned it in the intro.
I was on the other screen and didn't see it. And so for those that are coming to the retreat, Julie is going to be also selling. Are you going to be selling your book?
Yeah, I'll have a few with me. It is also available online if people want to get it beforehand. It's on all of the online places. So yeah, it's called Australian Druidry, and I'm Julie Brett. So
yeah. And so Julie, what is it that sort of leads you? What makes you do this work? What is it that makes you juicy?
Yeah, I think when you asked me this question before, you asked about like what is the gift that you want to bring, and talking about an offering that we've got this gift to bring, and that was making me really think about this idea of awaken that we have in Druidry, this creative inspiration, or the flow of creative spirit that moves through us, is this really important and beautiful idea that we work with a lot in our ritual, and that's sort of like, it's like that energy of flow states and stepping aside almost to allow like the universe to speak through you. And it's like that's the gift, right, that each of us has. It's like one of us has it in our own unique ways. But when we're really open and grounded, we can find that gift. And I guess what I really want to share, what's really juicy, is I really want everyone to feel really in flow with that connection to their creativity, and to the practices that can help them really, drive that forward in a way that creates positive change in the world. Like I really strongly believe that.
That's it.
Yeah, like creativity, like if you hear a song or a story or, a poem, or see some art that really moves you and helps you to feel like compassion for the story that's being told there, like especially if it's one that's being told in vulnerability and honesty and authenticity, then there's change that occurs in you. And, like encouraging people to use these practices to really know their place in the world and with their ancestors and with their connection to what spirit means for them, and bringing that creativity through. And it's like that you can't help but create positive change in the world when you do that.
And the shift can be rather rapid as well. I was feeling actually quite hopeless in the last couple of days. There was conversations going on around me about the state of the world and, the weather and these massive things that are happening in the world. And I was feeling really very hopeless. And I did a meditation last night. I'm not sure if you watch Tea with a Druid with Philip.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He was talking about hope. And just the word hope for me, when you're feeling hopeless, hope. But what he did was he made it into a flower that's coming up through the snow.
Yes.
In the northern hemisphere, where there's a lot of snow on the ground, the very first signs of springs are these little snowbells, little tiny white flowers.
Yeah.
That, to me, for it to have that power and strength to come up through the snow and then start to bloom, that's hope. And something in me shifted just visioning that with him. That was like about 2:00 this morning, and I was watching a Facebook Live, and then I felt hopeful.
Do you know what? Those are snowdrops, and they're a symbol of Bridget, who's in the Northern Hemisphere. Imbolc is her seasonal festival. So we're having Lunasa now in the Southern Hemisphere because it's seasonally based. So that's the beginning of spring, but she's the goddess of inspiration and of awaken. So
well, we're all connected.
Imbas, because that's the Irish word for it. But yeah, so it's all about inspiration. But yeah, there's this beautiful, the wisdom of nature. It has so much to offer us. There's, you look around and the symbols of the season are sitting there with something beautiful to tell you about what needs to be expressed in the world and what truth there is and wisdom and beauty in that.
This isn't my country. I'm born in New Zealand, and I've sort of only been in Australia for 7 years, and I just have this thirst for knowledge of the everything. I want to know what everything is, and so that's what's making me just want more and more. And I'd loved your book, and
oh, good.
So excited to meet you in person in May. Before we leave or before we sign off, can you, in the hopes to inspire somebody maybe that's watching now, share a time where you have had to invoke your warrior woman?
Yeah, so this question really makes me think about these creative barriers that we have, that when we find that creative urge within us that wants to be expressed, there's sometimes that self-doubt and fear of judgment and just plain nervousness, not wanting to get past that barrier of opening that up to the world and letting people see it. And I guess that's something where I feel like there's that warrior woman sense of stepping up, feeling that fear and feeling like it still needs to be said. And I've got to say, writing my book definitely was one of those fear barriers for me, because my book is taking a bit of a leap, to take a Celtic inspired, British origin tradition and say, can we do this in Australia? That was a big deal. And a bit scary, and I didn't know how it would go, but I'm really, really glad that I did it, because that was my truth. That was the creative thing that I had in me that needed to be expressed. So yeah, in the book I look at the wheel of the year, the seasonal changes through the year, and the story of that we can see, not just in agricultural cycles or in trees that have come from other countries, but in the Australian native environment. So yeah, that was a bit of a warrior moment for me to face that fear and put that out there. So that kind of creativity is what I really want to explore with everybody in the workshop as well, like finding what is that thing that you're really passionate about and really feel wants to be expressed, but maybe there's something holding you back that you can break through with that warrior energy and, make it happen.
We'll support each other as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for being you. Thank you for writing your book. Thank you for being here, and thank you for coming to Boundless Self-Love Retreat. We'll see you the last weekend in May. So for those of you that are watching that haven't secured your space yet, please know that this event will sell out. The last 2 years it sold out at least a month before. The smoke signals are going up and women are hearing about this, and every day we're getting more and more attention, which is fabulous. But if you're waiting for something or waiting for a sign, this is the sign. So we are looking forward to seeing you at Boundless Self-Love Retreat, Invoking the Warrior Woman, in the last weekend of May at Redland Bay, which is halfway between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Thanks, Julie. See you then.
Thank you so much.